Welcome back, everybody. It is a new week, so it is a new show. Episode 9. Almost into double digits, so that's exciting. 9 weeks strong. If you don't know by now, I am Odell Harmon Jr. You can find me at Odell Harmon Jr. on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, social media. And
I am Jared Fradette. You can find me at all those places: Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, DeviantArt, I don't know, anywhere you can type in a username at ToonVelo. Also, this week, we've announced that we are going to be on Pokemon Go. So those who follow us on Twitter at our podcast here know already, and already have my friend code. Odell's will be coming to you soon as they've lowered the level cap.
it will be. And if Twitter isn't your thing, you can also now follow us on Instagram. So you can find updates behind the scenes and, I don't know, giveaways or
Not
something.
giveaways yet.
Not yet, but I mean eventually.
Eventually. We're also on Google Play now, and the newly announced Google Podcast, which is just a shortcut to Google Play. I don't know. I don't know if they're really going to try and take down iTunes here, but they have some work to do.
Well, if they do or don't, you can find us there regardless.
Exactly. So, but none of that is what we're talking about this week. None of it at all. This week, we're going to be counting down our favorite anime songs. You thought a couple weeks ago we were having our musical episode. That wasn't it.
Yep, it's this time. We're doing it now. Yep. We are going to have a legit musical segment, I guess.
Musical segment, not a whole episode. We need to brush up our singing voices for that.
Oh, okay.
La 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 la.
You know, that would be cool. It's just a whole musical theme.
Everything is rhyming just the whole way through.
Yeah, like
we each have our own style. We'll work on this. We'll get back to you. So we'll be covering anime songs. We'll be discussing the new Spider-Man movie coming out, the animated Spider-Man movie, not the one that Tom Howard Hollard, spoiled. And starting off right off the bat, we'll be discussing Doctor Who and the 13th Doctor.
Woo! As you know, we, as in by we, I mean Jared is a huge Doctor Who fan, so I know he's excited about that. And I'm excited about San Diego Comic-Con, where it's going to take place, so we're all excited.
We're all excited. So for those of you who don't know, the 12th Doctor has stepped down from being the Doctor. Peter Capaldi has left us, and during last year's Christmas episode, Jodie Whittaker actually takes up the role, and we get to see her, the regeneration, everything. And it's amazing. It's, to quote her, brilliant. But then it all goes to hell as the TARDIS explodes, and she is left literally cliffhanging as she plummets to her death. And that's all we got from her visually. We've gotten a spoil from her. We've gotten her in comic rendition, just a single pane of her again, enthusiastically stepping out of the TARDIS. And now she will be debuting at the San Diego Comic-Con.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, but she is the first female Doctor, correct?
She is the first female Doctor, yes. But not the first female Time Lord. We've kind of peppered the fact that a Time Lord could switch genders through various things. We've mentioned offhandedly, we've theorized about it, and most recently, the Doctor's long-term friend, nemesis, frenemy, the Master, was most famously a female in this last incarnation. So it'll be exciting. This new Doctor, the 13th Doctor. Let me be a stickler here. She could be the 13th Doctor, the 15th Doctor, or the 3rd Doctor.
You lost me.
You lost me. Okay, Right. Okay, so in terms of counting who has held the title of the Doctor, she's number 13.
But why would she be the 3rd?
Because this is the second that we know of regeneration cycle. So a regeneration cycle, for those who don't know, a Time Lord or Lady can regenerate 12 times. And so the Doctor blew through those.
So as the 13th regeneration, is she now a whole new person entirely?
Well, that's how it always works.
Well, separate from the first one, because they all have the shared memory and experiences, right?
Yes.
So now that she just, does that start over? Like she's the...
Nope, she still carries everything back from the first. And so actually, this is where I get the counting from. So at Matt Smith, Doctor 11, asterisk, as the numbering gets weird, he is given a new regeneration cycle because, as it turns out, he used up his entire first regeneration cycle
of 12,
becoming the 11th Doctor.
Ah.
So In the new regeneration set, Matt Smith is now the first Doctor, followed by Capaldi the second, and Whitaker the third. However, the numbering gets off because David Tennant, who was the 10th Doctor, was also the 10th and 11th Doctor because he regenerated but stayed the same person.
Is that possible?
It is. So. It completely is. While also spawning off a human clone of himself to go and live with Rose Tyler forever. Yep, it gets real picky here.
All right.
Yeah,
So, all right, everyone home, pretend I don't know any of this, because I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
So, the 10th Doctor...
Yes.
Regenerated and was officially the 11th. The 11th Doctor regenerated, but stayed the same person.
No.
Wait, it was the 10th, right?
The 10th. But we only call him the 10th Doctor.
Even though he died, regenerated, and was the 11th, but he was still referred to as the 10th.
Yes.
And then when he regenerated from his second regeneration, that was called the
11th. Yes. But either way, both of those are wrong because between the 8th and 9th Doctor, we get John Hurt's, the War Doctor. And we don't count him as a numbered Doctor because he changed his title. So all Time Lords take on a title for themselves. The Doctor has chosen the Doctor, and the Master has chosen the Master, or the Mistress, as she was a woman. So, because John Hurt chose the title of the War Doctor...
Wait, the female
Master refers to herself as the Mistress.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, so if you're a female Master, you're a Mistress?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's just... And then she went by Missy, and there was a long mystery throughout seasons. Who is Missy? Who could she be?
And she was the Mistress, she was,
a.k.a.
the Master.
She was the Master the whole time.
Dear God.
I know. It's just a wonderful wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey numbering fiasco.
I see what you did there.
Exactly.
All right. So, but as far as canon is concerned, she is the 13th Doctor.
But we are calling her the 13th Doctor.
Well, screw it. She's the 13th Doctor because, we had Street Fighter 1, 2, Alpha, Third Strike, blah, 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 5. Mm-hmm. And, I feel like most games do that.
Yeah.
It's like Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. A whole bunch of things that aren't a numbered Resident Evil.
Assassin's Creed 5, the best way to end a trilogy. Yeah. But yeah, so she is the 13th Doctor, and not only is she new, but basically everything about the show is going to be new, and we know almost nothing about what's coming up.
New as in what?
So we have a new title sequence, we get a new TARDIS interior, or, for avid fans of the show, you know it is her new desktop theme. Right? What we see is the interior, they refer to as the desktop theme. What is this, Coral? Don't let me go off on a tangent here.
You already have.
Right. Sorry. New companions. She'll be getting 3 new companions, and I wrote down the names. Whoa. Right? Graham, Ryan, and Yasmin.
Oh, is she polyamorous?
No. The Doctor. Okay, the Doctor of recent has had love interest, but primarily companions are just companions. They're traveling companions.
That's right. We don't discriminate. So if you out there want to have multiple companions in your life, that's between you and your companions. As long as everyone knows and agrees, then you know.
Then you know.
Then you know. The more you know.
Right?
Full circle. From episode 1 when we did the more yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, and additionally, a new showrunner. And now, this is what concerns me. So everything about this has excited me thus far because I love Peter Capaldi. He was much more serious tone from Matt Smith's midlife crisis, effectively. Right? Because he knew he was dying. As far as he knew, this was the last he was ever going to be. So he exhibits a lot of behavior that's like erratic and childish, and he buys the sports car, and he's the midlife crisis of regenerations. And so Peter Capaldi was much more serious, like, sorry, that was a phase I was going through, and he was kind of dark, and he has identity crisis, and he kind of even ends on a sad, dark tone. But everything about Jodie Whittaker that we've seen thus far, she's optimistic, she's bright, she's shiny. It's, once again, she's excited to explore space and time. She's excited to save the day. The whole, the universe is her oyster. But the one concerning thing I have is the addition of the new showrunner. So, while I was not personally a fan of Stephen Moffat, the previous showrunner, I really don't have anything good to say about the new showrunner. He has previously worked on, specifically, the things he's written for Doctor Who, like The Power of Three. Everything he's written for Doctor Who previously has been boring. And
You're worried about it being more boring.
Exactly.
As a new showrunner.
It's just like every episode he's written, it just kind of things just kind of happen and then end, and I'm left at the end of 40 minutes going, what just happened? What did I watch?
Well, maybe he'll be better since he has like an entire season, not just a confined episode.
Right. I mean, the entire Who the 13th Doctor will be will be entirely in his hands. Where previously he's written for pre-established characters, which I'm not a writer, so I don't know how to handle characters.
You're not a writer, Jared.
I'm not a writer.
Right. You don't know what we do. You don't know what we go through.
I'm sorry. Do the characters speak to you, Odell?
I mean, sometimes.
You try and get them to do things, but they go, no, I'm going to throw a coup and run away from my friends. You're like, but I needed you.
Well, it's like when it comes to characters, you know them personally, so you know what will be uncharacteristic of them. And you can't betray that character's, integrity or lack thereof.
There you go.
Depending.
Yeah, but they're your creations.
Exactly.
Have you ever had to take up writing of a different of someone else's character?
I have.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know what they thought. I mean, it was completely
within characters.
My fanfic project. Yeah, I wrote fan fiction, people.
Coming soon to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this guy's taking over a whole new universe of time and space, like the SpiderVerse, which takes place instead of doctors, multiple Spider-Mans across time and space.
See what we did there?
And the universe. So if you didn't know, a new Spider-Man movie is coming out, but no, not the live-action one, a new animated one by Sony Animations, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. If you don't know what the Spider-Verse is, well, believe it or not, there's more than one Spider-Man. Outside of Miles Morales, who is the now canonical main Spider-Man, there has been an nauseating number of Spider people. So outside of Peter Parker, you have Spider Noir, which is a Spider-Man in a, you guessed it, noir-themed universe. You have the Scarlet Spider, which is like okay, they used to try to clone Peter like all the time. I mean, literally all the time.
I mean, why not? Like, he can do so many... Like, the fact that he's probably the most astounding Avenger I think there is. Because, like, imagine his raw strength. He's just like, yeah, let me pick up these two cars. And then he's like, and I'll gently shake... Or you're not shaking. And I'll gently shake your hand. And he doesn't crush people's... He lands, doesn't break anything, crushes a car, and then he pats you on the back going, it'll be okay. And he doesn't just, like, smack you across the street.
Unlike Superman, he has control over his strength and isn't constantly worrying about hurting somebody.
Martha. Anywho.
So, Scarlet Spider was one of Peter's clones. There's been... Okay, you have...
Stacy.
Gwen Stacy. I mean, you have Venom and Carnage if you want to really think about it.
I would include them.
Otto Octavius switched brains with Peter Parker and took over his identity, and... It's
on and on.
There's a lot. But the new animated movie is going to focus on Miles Morales, the new canonical Spider-Man, as he somehow interacts with a older Peter Parker from the original, I guess, call it Universe Prime?
Sure. Universe Alpha.
Yeah, there we go. Spider-Man, which they then learn that there's other Spider people out there, and they're going to interact somehow. As so far, we only know of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy, are going to appear in the movie. And the animation style, to me, looks amazing. Like, if you haven't seen it, we'll drop a link to the trailer or something. It's cel-shaded, it's gorgeous, and like Jared mentioned off camera earlier, it's, if you zoom in, it's almost dot pixelated, just like the comics.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's astounding. It's aesthetically beautiful. Instead of just shadow, it's the pointillism comic gradient that you'd see from the old, I think, Campbell style paintings. It's the detail they added to this is great. The way the motion, it's almost like flipbook art style. It's not full motion. It's flipbook style, I guess is how I would describe it.
I don't know the proper term for that style, but I get what you're saying. Again, you can watch the trailer and see. The community seems to be torn about it, though, despite it being amazing. One, some people aren't a fan of the art style, which I think is ridiculous, and I think Jared agrees with me on that one.
I think it's the same people who hated the Wind Waker. Oh, this isn't Zelda at all. It's Zelda, because it's cel-shaded and it's toony. Well, is it a good game? Does it function without any bugs? Watch the last episode. Hate bugs in games.
Was that last episode?
Might have been. Watch our episode. Like, share, subscribe. But it's aesthetic. It works. It's perfect. Do I need to be able to zoom in on Link's bomb and see like the texture of? No, it's a little blue ball. You know what it is. It works.
And another main complaint of this seems to be people aren't a fan of Miles Morales because he's different. He's mixed first and foremost, but yes, he is black. He's darker.
I mean, I don't know. No, actually, so I think there was a quote. I think it was from Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, where he's like, he was baffled why people just don't like Miles, because it's like, so you've never heard of a ethnic kid living in Queens with his aunt? Like, you think that person doesn't exist right now? That's silly. Of course he exists. That's, in fact, like, he's very prominently to exist.
And for those who don't know, like I said, he's the canonical Spider-Man. There was a whole series of events led up to him being the main Spider-Man. I mean, Peter Parker is officially dead because, he's probably died like...
A hero died.
Yeah. But to be fair, Miles has, to be frank, just better powers than Peter. So they have the whole web slinging, stick to stuff, all the stuff. But he has something known as the Venom Shock, where it's essentially like a spider bite, but he'll touch you and shock you with venom. Mm-hmm. And just to add to the whole spider's camouflage ability, he can turn invisible.
Right, that's just great. That's so much better.
I know there's some trade-off. There's something, I don't know if his spidey sense is underdeveloped, or I think it operates differently, or something like. Don't quote me on this, but I know there's some offsets to. It's not like he has a.
Because they try to power balance it, or at least make it unique.
Yeah, so I forget what the trade-off. There's something he can and can't do, but
something that so answer me this because I'm not sure myself. So Peter Parker technically didn't have web shot. They always had to have like canisters.
Shooters. I think Miles also used shooters.
Okay, I guess that makes sense because only female spiders can actually spin web.
Which is why Gwen Stacy doesn't use shooters.
Actually,
I don't know that to be true. I just assume it is. It'd be smart if she didn't.
Well,
it sounded right.
Right?
I mean, it can still be right. And then another thing going for the movie that people are seem to be torn about is the fact that I kind of mentioned this prior, but they're like, "Oh, Miles, there's another Spider-Man. There's just too many Spider-Mans." Again, the SpiderVerse is not new. Before Miles' introduction into the SpiderVerse, there was at least about, I want to say 10, if not more, spider beings running around doing spider things.
Spider things that spiders can.
Yeah.
Slings a web, if it can.
Yes, catching bad guys.
By the hand.
Just like flies. You don't know
I
the
don't.
song.
I know the song, but the issue for me is we start it in the middle, and I don't start well at the middle.
Well, you don't know this song.
Which song is that?
The Spider-Man song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You
Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever spider can, spins a web. That's what he. Okay, that's the end. That's the official end.
Catching bad guys just like flies. Look out! Here comes the Spider-Man.
Bow, 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 bow. Swoops at the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the Spider-Man theme song. But remember how earlier we told you we're about to get musical? Well, we're about to tell you our favorite anime theme songs. All right, just for distinction, people, not cartoons, not all of the cartoon, and specifically anime, Japanese animation. You know what it is. Don't act like you don't.
I mean, it's why you're here, right?
Yeah, it's the. Oh, I was like, no. It made me realize if they were here for anime stuff, then we
dropped the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's why you're, because we kind of. One of our fans is being like, "What do you mean anime? Hunter X the only anime you ever talk."
In passing too. Yeah. Ooh, in the pilot. Ooh.
So
we will come back to that, and we will have a full heavy anime episode starting with this segment.
We're doing all the anime people justice. It's your time to shine and comment and like and subscribe, but mainly comment. and argue, and I'll tell you you're wrong. And if you think you're not wrong, make a show then, huh? You put out 9 episodes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like them apples.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to start this off with...
What, your favorite... So, not just theme songs, any anime song.
Yeah, it could be any anime song. Intro, outro.
Featured prominently in the middle somewhere.
Yeah. But these are all intros and outros.
Okay.
So, my first one is, alright, for all our, waifus, weeboos, otakus, and other anime terms to describe people who love anime, these pronunciations most likely will not be 100% accurate. I do not know Japanese. I've never been to Japan. I don't, to my knowledge, have a lot of Japanese friends that can correct my pronunciations, so...
Forgive us.
Yes. So, my first one is going to be Shiki no Uta by Mimi, and it is the outro to Samurai Champloo, and I will sample some of that for you right now. So, as you can hear, it's a little jazzy, a little nighttime vibe, sun setting, and you just got through fighting some samurai warriors. Check out Jared's interpretive dancing. If you know the lyrics, sing along. I don't. Ooh. Right? It just takes the edge off.
Right? So, but kind of in the same vein, but taking the edge on, jazzy themes that I love, and I know it's a little cliche, but how do you not love Cowboy Bebop's intro, Tank?
I'm playing the bass.
3, 2, 1, let's jam. Right? I've always described Cowboy Bebop. Oh. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, let's jam. I've always described this as the anime version of Firefly, and vice versa, as Firefly is the live-action version of Cowboy Bebop.
I didn't watch Firefly, but I know anyone who did tells me it's the greatest thing ever, so I will take your word on it.
It was the greatest show ever canceled. But right, it's this Western sci-fi in space, and you could just imagine, we're all on our pods, racing around, catching bounties. Yeah.
Well,
I'm pumped. That was exciting for me.
So I'm gonna move away from the jazzy scene and go a little rock. So if you ever watched anime, you have heard this intro. I'm not gonna say what it is because it's nostalgic. You're gonna go back at least 10, 15 years in your mind. So I'm just gonna play it and we're gonna talk about it. Hold on. You ready for this? All right.
Oh, the feels, the memories.
So those who didn't know what that was Bleach's first opening, titled Asterisk by Orange Range. So I remember I was watching Adult Swim one night, and I just happened to have it on, and I heard that theme song, and I was like, whoa, what is this? And I start watching the intro, and it looks amazing. The intro has nothing to do with the show whatsoever. It's just random Japanese teams in New York, graffitiing, wearing urban street clothes, and then the show turns out to be about some Shinigami samurai looking warriors with magic swords fighting to the death. And I was like, what is going on? The contrast between the intro and the music to what the show actually is was confusing. But that intro is amazing. Hold on. Just oh, I gotta get into a little Japanese rap real quick. But that's good stuff.
We should cosplay as them from the intro. That'd be great.
That would be. But then I almost feel like people think we're just like at a regular.
I mean, I went as the outsider to the last. Nobody knew who I was.
I mean, fair enough.
It's fun to do cosplays that are easy because then you're not burdened by stopping every 5 feet.
That is true.
But yeah, aesthetically, it's so great. It's so wonderful. Now a little bit newer. This is for me is from Erased, and you might have seen the live action version on Netflix. I implore you to go watch the actual anime version wherever you can. Probably Crunchyroll.
The live action isn't bad. It just doesn't do. You're just much better off watching the animated one.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll listen to this re. So some of my favorite part about this, so this is by Asian Kung Fu Generation, and not only do they sing the Japanese, but they also sing an English version of this. So I like both of them, and the words, I just have to listen. And the words overlap really greatly. So let's see if we can get back to the part, well I was going to say, yeah, so some of the English, I waited for you, it's been so many years and you never came through.
Whoa,
I know.
That fits pretty nicely.
I know. It's just, it's chilling, especially, it fits perfectly to the theme, right? So unlike Bleach, which again I love, it fits 100% with what the anime is about. Which is, the main character is able to flash back at moments in time to save people, and the big thing, he actually manages to flash back 20 years, and that's the setup for the anime. So go watch it. I won't spoil it.
Yeah, the less you know, the better off you are.
It really is.
All right, and I said no cartoon theme songs, but this is not a cartoon. A lot of people get that confused. This is still an anime, even though you watched it and loved it without realizing it was an anime. And no surprises here. It needs no introduction, so without further ado, I think we should all just sing along. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Gotta catch 'em, it's you and me. Alright, any more and we gotta do a copyright stuff, so
just cut off there. So yeah, actually, I believe Pokemon, because actually one of our followers, thank you, shout out, was asking me what my first anime was. And I think it has to be Pokemon.
I think, like, everyone in the West first anime was Pokemon. If not Dragon Ball Z, like...
Right, I knew what Dragon Ball Z was, but we didn't have cable. And so, right, this came on the WB at the time. So I was able to watch that.
RIP WB.
Ugh. So, it makes me feel so alone. Because the feature of our next song is Alones by Aqua Times, which, I mean, it's a little redundant, but it's from Bleach, but I also just love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
And if it's Bleach Opening 6, if you just want to, like, easily find it, because visually, if you watch the first, like, 15, 30 seconds of the song, the way they have the character singing it is, and, like, you know you're in for something great when you watch the action.
Right? Like, I don't even particularly like that portion of the anime, like that arc.
Oh, yeah, that arc was garbage.
But that song was so great. Oh, fly again on tried and broken wings, I think is the translation.
Something like that.
Something like that.
But we actually have 2 honorable mentions for you, so...
Without further ado.
Mm-hmm. There's 2 total honorable mentions that, you know, we thought we should still shout out. Mine is from... I recently, for the first time, I corrected one of my anime sins, and watch Fullmetal Alchemist.
Woo!
Well, specifically Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Woo!
And the intro, I just really love. Like, the song overall is by Aqua. Oh, no, not Aqua.
It is.
Yui.
Yui.
Yui, who
Again
sings...
by Yui.
Yeah, again by Yui, who sings a crap ton of songs. It's called...
Again.
All right. Oh, well, I did not screw that one up. That one's pretty easy.
Right.
It's in English. Yay. But the whole song's good, but it's really the middle section where it just really takes off. And I'm just going to play a little quick snippet of that as my runner-up. So, again, this is Again by Yui. Here. Alright, for those watching, you got the extra treat of Jared imitating the music video where the characters are
break dancing?
Dematerializing.
It's a form of breaking.
Yes. So thank you for the interpretive visual for those watching. That was a treat. Right. So that was my runner-up. My
runner-up is from Seven Deadly Sins on Netflix. And it is, and I'm going to botch this one up, Nanatsu no Taizai by Flo. And again, Flo does basically all the anime songs that you've basically ever heard of. Like, just listen to them and they've probably played a song you know.
Yeah, there's like 5 bands and like 3 singers that
pretty much
make up all anime.
Right. But this is just a fun ending sequence. So that's basically it. It's just that guitar riff. It's like, and we go.
And you're treated to some nice, attractive anime ladies dancing to the song. So that's fun.
Yeah,
that's fun. They're fully dressed. So
they're fully dressed. Don't look at us like that.
Yeah,
they're characters from the show. It's relevant.
And plus, we should honestly have an episode just like our favorite anime crushes.
We can do that. We certainly will.
Me and Jared actually share an anime crush that if we lived in that universe we would fight over. And but we'll save that for next time.
All right. So like from Seven Deadly Sins, the ending song, "Let's Go." We have to be going. So once again, thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Fradette. You can find me at Toon Velo.
And I'm Odo Harmon Jr. You can find me at Odo Harmon Jr. And remember to like, share, subscribe, and follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter at FC Podcast 23. So until next time, guys, thank you for sticking with us this long. We'll see you next week.